We are now on Module 3, Mathematical Language and Symbols. So for today, we have 3 objectives. First, we have understand the language, symbols and conventions of mathematics. Second, apply the nature of mathematics as a language. Third, perform operations on mathematical expressions correctly. So now, what is mathematical language? So it is the system used by mathematicians to communicate mathematical ideas among themselves and is distinct from natural languages in that it aims to communicate abstract, logical ideas with precision and unambiguity. Okay, so though this is widely used by mathematicians, but we use it. Okay, we use it as ordinary people. Yan, yun yung ginagamit natin. Okay, it is different from natural languages since mathematics has its own language and since math is a science of abstract object and logical ideas, so it conveys abstract and logical ideas with precision and clarity. Yan, so walang ambiguity. Ayan. Okay, so this language also consists of a substrate of some natural language. Yes, if we say substrate parts of the natural language, which is, for example, the English. Yan. It is also using technical terms and grammatical conventions that are peculiar in mathematical discourse. If we say peculiar, hindi siya common. So, kumbaga, kasi may mga terms tayo in mathematics wherein sa math lang talaga siya makikita. So, kumbaga, uncommon siya kasi nga exclusive lang siya for math. So, for example, we have our jargons and then we have the quadratic equations. Yan. Mathematical language is also supplemented by a highly specialized symbolic notation for mathematical formulas since math is composed of mathematical structures and yung mathematical structures natin, they are made up of formulas. And then for the formulas, we often use variables, yan, as well as yung mga symbols natin. So usually symbols natin are Greek letters. So for example, this Greek letter sigma, so this means the sum or the summation. Iyan. Okay, so we have the symbols. There are 10 digits, so 0, 1, up to 9. Symbols for operations. If we see this, this means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. And we also have symbols that stand in for values or our variables. Yan. And we also have the special symbols like this pi, the equal sign, and then the inequality signs, and many more. And then for the letter convention, so though this is not the rule, but this is widely used by the authors by the book authors. Okay, so usually itong start of the alphabets natin, we have ABC. They usually refer to constants or fixed values. And then our positive integers naman are usually represented by letters from I to N. And then our variables or the unknowns natin, they are usually represented by XYZ or the end letters of our alphabet. Yan yung usually ginagamit sa books. And then for example, we have y equals to ax plus b. Okay, so we can assume here that a and b are fixed values. If we say fixed values, that's numbers or constants. Yan. And then itong si y at saka si x naman, they are unknowns. So kumbaga yung value ni y nagdi-depend siya sa value ni x. Ayan. And we also have the uppercase versus the lowercase. So usually, if you see uppercase na mga letters sa math books, that means a set. Okay, so for example, if you see capital R and then naka-bold pa yan, that means that is a set of real numbers. If you see capital N naka-bold, that means a set of natural numbers or any set. Pwede din ganito. Set A is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we will discuss more on sets later. Okay. And then we also have nouns, verbs, sentences in mathematics. So ano yung mga nouns natin? So in mathematics, nouns could be numbers or expressions with numbers, like the examples here. Yan. And the verb could be the equal sign here or an equality sign like this one, or greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. And then we also have pronouns. So in English, yung mga pronouns natin, we have it, he, you. Ayan. But in mathematics, they are variables like x or y. So we have 5x minus 7, xy squared minus negative 3 over x, and so on. And we also have adjective. So an adjective could be a subscript like the n in x sub n. So ito si adjective natin in mathematics. And just like the English subject, we also have mathematical sentence. So like a sentence in English, mathematical sentence is we can call it a sentence if it denotes complete thought. Okay, dapat kompleto siya. Like this one, 3x plus 7 equals to 22. If 3x plus 7 lang, that is mathematical expression, hindi siya sentence. Pero kapag ganito, kompleto, 3x plus 7 equals to 22, then that is a sentence. Ayan. So, as we continue, yan. What is the purpose? Okay, so the language of mathematics was designed so we can write about things like numbers, sets, functions, and the things we do with these numbers, sets, functions, and etc. So we add them, we subtract, we multiply, we divide, join together, and then simplify. And so on. Marami pang mga operations. Yan. So that's the purpose of mathematical language. And we can also use this for us to be globally competitive. No, gaya ng sabi na learn natin last week. Ayan. And then now we have some important kinds of mathematical statements. So we have the so-called trinity. So these are the most common statements in mathematics. So first, we have the universal statement, which says that a certain property is true for all elements in a set. So this is identifiable by these keywords, for all. So we say universal, lahat. No one is exempted. Pwedeng meron lahat or pwedeng meron lahat, wala. Yan. So universal statement. And then a conditional statement is an if-then statement. That is, if one thing is true, then some other thing is also true. Yan. So that's conditional statement. So we can identify this by the keywords if-then. Yan, if-then. And then sa existential statement naman says that there is at least one thing for which a property is true. Ito ka-existential statement is kumbaga, nag-a-assert siya ng existence or may nag-e-exist na isa, kahit na isa. So that's existential statement. So now let's have the combinations of this trinity. Ayan. So first combination, we have the universal conditional statement. So this is a combination of a universal statement and then a conditional statement. So kumbaga, the statement has a variation of the words for all, and conditional statement contain versions of the words if then. So this is the symbol for all or the universal statement yan, inverted A. And then kay conditional statement, that is if then or the single-headed arrow. Ayan. Okay, here is an example. For all animals A, if A is a dog, then A is a mammal. So from here, itong first part, this is universal statement because of the keywords for all, and then followed by if then. So this is conditional statement. So that means as a whole, this is universal conditional statement. And you need to take note that we can rewrite this as purely universal or purely conditional. Okay, example. Okay, given for all real numbers x, if x is non-zero, then x squared is positive. Ayan, so for us to rewrite, we need to understand first the given statement. Yan, for all real numbers x, if x is non-zero, then x squared is positive. Ayan, and then we also need to take note na if we are rewriting, kung nag-rewrite tayo, dapat same yung meaning niya sa original statement. Ayan, kung nag-mention ka dito, beforehand ng x, dapat ma-mention mo siya ulit dito. Ayan. Kung wala naman, then no need to mention. For example, kay A, if a real number is non-zero, then its square, yan. So, kung babalik tayo dito sa given, x squared daw is positive. So, x squared is the same with this one, yung square ng real number. So, the square of the real number is positive. Ayan. So, that should be the answer, is positive. Dito naman for B, for all non-zero real numbers x, ayan, nag-mention tayo ng x dito. So that means dapat na-mention natin siya ulit dito. Okay, for all non-zero real numbers x, so given dito, Yan, kung may given daw na x, non-zero and then real number, then yung kulang na lang is x squared is positive. So yan dapat yung sagot. X squared is positive. Ayan, for letter C, if x blank, then blank. Okay, you can try this. Okay, you can chat your answers, or if you want, you can unmute yourself and then give me your answer. Yan, you can just chat or you can unmute yourself. For letter C, if x is blank, then blank.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if x is non-zero, then x squared is positive.
Yes, close to correct. Yes, kulang ka lang ng real number kasi nandito kasi real number. So, dapat if x is non-zero, yes. If x is a non-zero real
Opo.
number, then x squared is positive.
Is positive. Okay po.
Thank you. Okay, okay lang yan. Okay lang yan, Ezekiel. Okay. How about for letter D? The square of any non-zero real number is blank. So this is very simple. The square of any non-zero real
Positive.
number is, yes, positive. So that's correct. And then for E, all non-zero real numbers have blank. Okay, so ano ba yung nandito sa given? Tsaka ano yan dito? All non-zero real numbers have? Sige, ano kaya? Okay, you can chat your answers. Okay, we cannot have x kasi hindi naman tayo nag-mention ng x dito. Sa E. Have square. Anong square? Have positive. Anong positive?
X squared is positive, ma'am.
Hindi tayo nag-mention ng x. Kaya no need to mention x. We have positive squares dapat. So ganito dapat yung sagot. Have positive squares or squares that are positive. Ayan. Kasi dito, x squared is positive. Ayan. Okay, now let's have the other type of combination. We have the universal existential statement. So here, universal ang unang part and then followed by the existential part. Okay, so example, every real number has an additive inverse. So itong every, this is, or every real number, this means universal kasi lahat daw. And then ang has, that means the existence of something. Okay, so meron. So that means this is a universal existential statement. Okay, example natin. So prepare your keyboards. Yan to answer. Okay. So the given is every pot has a lid. So if we try to understand this, lahat daw ng pot may takip or may lid. Ayan, for A, all pots blank. So ano kaya dyan kay A? All pots blank. Okay, all pots has a lid or have lids. Yes, pero grammatically
Have
correct,
lids po.
have lids. Yan,
Yeah.
have
Yep.
lids. And then for B, for all pots P, there is blank. So we have mentioned here P, dapat ma-mention ulit dito si P.
There.
Okay. How about B? For all pots P, there is. Okay, dapat na-mention ulit si P. Okay, dapat ganito. There is a lead for P. So dapat na-mention kasi siya ulit. There is a lead for P. Ayan. Next, for all pots P, there is a lead L such that, so na-mention natin dito si P at saka si L, dapat na-mention ulit dito ang P at saka L. Ayan, for C. So there is a lead L such that, sige, you can try. Okay, walang magta-try. Okay, for all pods P, there is a lead L such that itong L is lead ng P. So, dapat ganito. Such that L is a lead for P. So, dapat ganyan. Okay, so dapat ka talagang bumalik kung ano yung na-mention mo una. Okay. Next combination, we have the existential universal statement. So, unang dito ang existential statement followed by the universal statement. Okay, so example, there is a positive integer that is less than or equal to every positive integer. So itong there is, yan, for existential statement. And then itong every is for the universal statement. Ayan. Okay, example natin. Prepare your keyboards. Ayan. The given is, there is a person in my class who is at least as old as every person in my class. Ayan. So, if you try to understand this, so kumbaga, mostly ng mga students niya is on the same age. Kasi may person daw sa klase niya wherein halos kaedad niya yung lahat ng tao doon sa class na yon. Ayan. So, some blank is at least as old as blank. Sige. Ano kaya?
Ma'am,
Yes.
some person is at least as old as every person
Okay, kulang. So,
in my class.
yes, tama. And then si Ezekiel din tama. Some person in my class, yan. So dito dapat ang answer. Some person in my class is at least as old as every person in my class. Ayan. Okay, pero okay naman yung kanina. Okay lang din na some person is at least as old as a certain person. Dapat in my class, in my class. Ayan. Next. There is a person P in my class such that P is, yan. Since I-mention na si P, so no need to mention here. Kasi twice lang dapat siya ma-mention. My class such that P is, anong kulang if you go back to this given? Okay, if you go back to the given, the missing here is ito. At least as old as every person in my class. Yan. Okay? At least as old as every person in my class. Ayan yung kulang. Okay, how about for C? There is a person P in my class with the property that for every person Q in my class, P is. Okay, so that means, twice na na-mention si P, so dito, dapat na-mention ulit si Q. Okay, meron daw person P sa kanyang class na may property na ito daw, that for every person, na represent siya kay Q in my class, P is blank. Anong kulang? P is as old as Q. Yes. Very good. Kulang lang siya ng at least kasi may at least. This is very important. Dapat at least. Okay, Ezekiel, very close. P is at least as old as Q. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, thank you so much for those who participated. Thank you. Ayan. So we have here some of the most important mathematical concepts, such as the definition of limit of a sequence, can only be defined using phrases that are universal, existential, and conditional. And they require the use of all three phrases. Now, for all, there is an if then. So I hope if you encounter now definitions in mathematics na may phrases na for all, there is an if then, you will understand more the definition. Ayan. Okay, now let's go with the sets. Okay, so as what I told you kanina, we will deal with the sets. Okay, set is a collection of things, usually numbers. We can list each element or member of a set inside curly brackets like this. Ayan. So curly brackets or braces. And then yung mga nasa loob dyan, they are called as the elements or members of a set. And if you see this one, this is what we call the ellipses. So we will use this one if for example, nag-continue pa. And we usually use this at the last part of this listing if ever we don't know the last element of that set. So usually sets are denoted by capital letters, ayan. And then yung mga elements niya are small letters. Ayan. Okay, so here we have this symbol. We have epsilon, Greek letter epsilon. So this is used to denote belongs to, or is an element of, or is a member of. So kumbaga part siya ng set. So if we try to read this is read as A is an element of set A, or A is a member of set A. And if you see like this, epsilon na may slash, that means A is not an element of A, set A. Ayan. And you also need to take note that the order of elements is meaningless. Okay, for example, we have this set na the set V of all vowels in the English alphabet can be written as V is equal to A, E, I, O, U. You can also write this as U, O, I, E, A or I, E, O, A, U. So it's up to you. Okay, in any order, okay lang. Okay, the order does not matter. Or the set of odd positive integers less than 10 can be expressed by O is equal to 13579. Or you can write 53197 or any order. Okay? Here. So representation of a set. So sets can be represented in two ways. So we have in roster or tabular form and then the set builder form. So ito lang tatlong to. Ito lang dalawang to yan. Alright? And then itong si descriptive form naman, ito dito, this is the given. Okay, yan na siya yung given. Alright. Okay, so for the tabular form, ito na yung nakikita natin kanina. All you need to do is to list all the elements of a set, separated by commas and enclosed within braces or curly brackets. So examples. So in the following here, for set A, the set of first 5 natural numbers. So ito siya. Ayan. So ito, this is already the descriptive form. Ayan. And then this is now the tabular form. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you just list the first 5 natural numbers. And then B, the set of even numbers up to 50. So we have it here, 2, 4, 6, 8, up to 50. So as what you can see here, we have used the ellipses here, ito dito. Kasi medyo mataas or marami yung members ng set na to. Okay, so you can use this. You can just enumerate or list the first 4 elements. Ayan. And then use the ellipses, comma, and then the last element, 50. For letter C or set C, the set of positive odd integers. Yes, if you list that one, you'll have C is equal to 1357 up to positive infinity or just here. Gamitin na si ellipsis kasi you don't know saan siya mag-stop. Okay. Ayan. Okay, I will clear all my drawings. Ayan. Okay, next for the descriptive form. So, yun na yung mga given kanina. And then next, you have the set builder form. So, all you need to do here is to find the common characteristics or attributes of the given elements. Okay, so we have here, if we go back to the given kanina, set A is the set of the first 5 natural numbers. Kung maging tabular form na yan, we have A is equal to X element of N. N is the set of natural numbers such that X is less than or equal to 5. Kasi the list of the first 5 natural numbers yon. Ayan. And then for the second, this is the set of even numbers up to 50. So that's why we have here X is element of E. E is the set of even numbers such that X is greater than 0 but less than or equal to 50. So that means included si 50. Ayan. Then for letter C, our set C, that is the set of odd integers or odd numbers. So we have X is element of O. O is the set of odd integers or odd numbers such that X is greater than 0. So positive kasi yon. So if we say positive, it should start with 1. So kaya X is greater than 0. Ayan, we also have the so-called well-defined and not well-defined sets. If we say well-defined, that means alam natin particularly yung members ng mga set na yun. So we can identify them particularly. So for example, the set of even numbers. So that's from negative infinity to positive infinity as well as for the odd numbers. Next, we have the set of prime numbers. Alam natin ano yung mga prime numbers. Ayan, we can list them. And then the positive multiples of 3 that are less than 10. We can also identify. So that's 3, 6, and 9. And then as well as here, and ito na yung mga not well-defined sets. So yung mga not well-defined sets, we don't know or we can identify kung ano ba yun sila, ano ba yung mga numbers na yan, or we can't find their common property. Wala silang common property. Okay, so example here. Which of the following are well-defined sets? Okay, so number 1. Okay, number 1, this is well-defined. As well as this one for okay, this is ayan, as well as ito at saka ito. Okay, we have 1, 4, 7, and 8. These are the well-defined sets. The rest ay hindi. For example, all the points that lie in a straight line, we can't identify ilang points yung naglalay sa isang straight line. And all the honest members in the family, we can't identify particularly kung sino ba talaga yung honest members in the family. Ayan. All the tall boys of the school, hindi rin natin malaman kung sino ba talaga yung mga tall boys kasi hindi sinabi dito kung ano yung basehan ng tall at saka as well as with the hardworking. Ayan. Okay. Okay, we have the subset. So subset naman is just part of a set. So kumbaga, if we say A is a subset of B, lahat ng elements ni A ay makikita kay set B. So example dito, is A as a subset of B where A is with 1, 3, 4 elements and B is 1, 4, 3, 2. So as what you can observe here, itong 1, 3, 4, makikita natin lahat kay B. Yan. So that means A is indeed a subset of B. Ayan, so A is part lang siya ni B. Okay, next we have the ordered pairs. So itong ordered pairs, ito yung, they are written like this, yan. Okay, A is the first element, B is the second element. And if we are given two, yan, we are given two pairs of ordered pairs, yan, so we can call them as equal if yung A is equal to C and B is equal to C. It should be, okay, kung 1, 3, then dito din sa kabila, dapat 1, 3 din. Okay, yan. So, equal itong dalawang to. Okay. Alright. Ayan. So, I'll proceed. We have the Cartesian product. So, for the Cartesian product, this is denoted by this one. This is read as A cross B. Yan, A cross B. Okay, all you need to do is to pair all the elements of A dito sa elements ni B. So, for example, if A is 1, 2, and B is 3, 4, 5, yung A cross B natin or the Cartesian product is, ayan. So, unahin natin i-pair itong si 1 sa elements ni B. Ayan, so we have 1, 3, 1, 4, and 1, 5. So ito, 1, 3, 1, 4, at saka 1, 5. Next, we have 2. So we have 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. So we have 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. So ganyan lang. If ever, B cross A yan, ayan. So it will be B yung una. Okay? So we have 3, 1. Ayan. So medyo ano siya, 3, 1. And then we have 3, 2. And then followed by 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1, and 5, 2. Ayan. Okay, any question? Since this is the last part of my discussion for today.